What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all doing well. Today we are going to be taking a look at the newest Corsair headset, the Void RGB Pro, which is an update to their previous versions. They've done quite a few changes. They've obviously optimized the audio a bit better as far as the speakers are concerned, as well as the microphone, and they also improved the mesh on the ear cups and the headband. So we're going to go over all of that, get in depth, talk about the sound quality for the headphones as well as the microphone on there, and take an overall look at the headset itself, which is where we'll start off. We'll take a look, go around the headset, and kind of take a look at the features and the design that they've included on here. Now, I'll start off by saying that I really do like the design as far as the looks of the headset are concerned. It looks really modern, pretty sleek, and all of that. And the improvements that they've done on the ear cups as well as the headband are well appreciated, as they are super comfortable. I'm not really much of a headset wearer. I'm more of an audiophile headphones kind of person, but in the comfort department, these are just aces. Like, they are super duper comfy, like very soft, plush, lightweight. They came in at around 340 grams when I weighed them earlier, so very lightweight as far as gaming headsets are concerned. When you include the fact that it's got a microphone attached to it as well, 340 grams is pretty good. So really no complaints as far as the comfort and overall looks on the headset, except I really didn't really, I wasn't a big fan of the glossy on the side of the ear cups. It definitely attracted a lot of fingerprints on there. So the glossy is something I'm not a huge fan of, but the rest of it, as far as just the overall shape and design, is really nice looking. Now, all of the business end of the headset is on the left side. You've got your microphone on there, you can mute the microphone, and you've got a rocker volume knob that can do more than just control the volume. Obviously, you can control the volume by moving it back and forth, or you can even click it in once, which will go through the different EQ presets in the Corsair Utility Engine software, which we'll get over into in just a minute. Or you can hold it down, which will toggle it from stereo to 7.1 Dolby surround sound, and we'll talk about all the audio quality on that in just a few minutes. Now, you can also mute the microphone on here, so we've got a toggle here for muting the microphone, and if you hold that button down, you can also hear the audio back from the microphone inside the headset. So all nice features. Really appreciate all that, especially being able to toggle the different EQs and toggling on and off the stereo and Dolby surround right on the headset, so you don't have to go quit out of a game or something and do it inside the Q software from Corsair. You can do it all right on the headset. Now, another feature I wanted to show you that I really liked on here is that when you toggle the mute button, it will actually illuminate a red LED at the end of the microphone, so you can look out of your periphery and kind of see if if you're muted or not, which is good. Maybe you're a teenager or something, and your mom comes in and yells at you to take out the dang garbage, and you got to mute your microphone so you're not embarrassed in front of your friends. And then you come back and you're like, oh wait, did I unmute yet? You can just kind of glance down and see if your microphone is unmuted rather than checking with your friends if they can hear you or not. So I really like that feature on there, honestly. Very, very cool. Unfortunately, you can't mute it by putting the microphone straight up in the air. They do have that on the wireless version of this headset, so not really sure why they didn't include it on the wired version, but it is a feature on the wireless one. Would have liked to have seen it on all versions of the headset, though, if you ask me. Now, I mentioned earlier that it is super comfortable to wear. It's very lightweight when you put it on your head, and it does block out a lot of the sound, being that it is a closed back pair of headphones, over ear and all that, so it's definitely going to block out a lot of the sound, but not all of it. But if you live in a noisy environment, it should do a decent job if you are playing some games. Now, there wasn't a lot of clamping force either on the headset, which is kind of, opinion, whether or not you like it or not. It's rather subjective. I would have preferred a little bit more clamping force, as I found that if I was listening to something like heavy metal and I started rocking out, these would fall off my head really, really easily. That was like 3 rocks, and it just fell right off. I mean, if I'm looking for a headset or a pair of headphones, I want to get at least 10 to 12 rocks before I finish rocking out. So yeah, 2 to 3 rocks is not enough. I mean, on a scale of 1 to metal, I would say that this is like smooth jazz. Dang it, my hair's all messed up. I rocked too hard. Last thing to mention is the cable on here. It is a black rubber cable, no sleeving at all, and it is not removable, so it is permanently attached to the headset. Unless your dog chews it off or something, then I guess it'll be detached, but it'll be detached permanently, so you won't have to worry about it anymore. And it is a USB, so this one is USB here. They've also got a wireless version, and they've got one that has a 3.5 millimeter jack on it as well, so you can kind of take your pick of the bunch on what you want to go for. If it was me personally making the purchase decision, I would probably want to get a 3.5 millimeter so that I can plug these into a good DAC amp and maybe improve the sound even just a little bit more. But you can get a flat EQ on the Corsair Utility Engine software, which is what I personally preferred to use. Taking a look inside of the Corsair Utility Engine software, you can see we do have a few different EQ presets in here. You've got Pure Direct, which is just a flat EQ curve all the way across, which is what I personally prefer to use, and I thought that gave the best audio experience possible, so you can really kind of hear the different nuances of the 50 millimeter drivers inside this headset. You've also got a 50 FPS, a FPS mode, movie theater, clear chat, or bass boost. But as I said, the Pure Direct was really the best mode in here, and that's usually what I prefer to use on headphones, is just a flat EQ curve. And we also do have the option here for your stereo or the Dolby headphone surround. Now, I will say that I use the stereo headphone for 90% of my playtesting, because the Dolby surround just doesn't sound great. It just sounds fake. Because it is fake. Both of these ear cups only have a single 50 millimeter driver in them with 32 ohms of impedance. So really throwing on a pseudo or fake surround sound mode is just completely pointless. And I just wish gaming headset companies would stop throwing it in there. I know they put it in there as to basically just have kind of like a checkbox, so they could put it on there and just say, oh, look, we've got surround, even though it's not surround. It's not. It's a stereo headset. So stop putting in fake surround sound that sounds awful, which it does on this headset as well. It does not sound good. It makes it sounds fake. It just makes the audio kind of sound further away, which is completely pointless. Even in a game like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which has binaural audio, it sounds way better in stereo because it is binaural. Bi meaning two, 1, 2, not 7 fake speakers that aren't actually there. So just please stop doing that, Corsair, and pretty much every other headphone and headset manufacturer out there. You got 2 ears, you got 2 speakers, leave it at that. If you want to put 7 different individual speakers inside each ear cup, then fine, that's a different story, but the whole fake surround sound thing has just got to go. Now, you've also got different lighting effects in here as well. I'm using a static purple color because it kind of matches the setup that I'm using down here, but you can do different things in here. You can have it on blinking, breathing, or on rainbow pulse if you want to, do all of that kind of stuff. But, I mean, yeah, it's RGB on a headset. Another thing, yeah, we don't really need it. I don't think anyone asked for that, so, yeah. But it's got it, so it must be important. Okay, so we've got all that out of the way. Let's discuss the sound on the Corsair Void RGB Pro. The sound is actually not terrible if you use it with the flat EQ and the stereo mode, at least for gaming. Gaming sounded great. I found the positional audio to be quite good, even in the stereo mode, without using the pseudo surround sound. So really no complaints as far as the sound in gaming is concerned. Now, if you are going to try to take this headset and apply it into different areas of media consumption like movies and music, then you probably will find some areas where it's going to fall a little flat. Mostly around the mids, I kind of found that it would get really muffled when I was listening to lots of different music. The vocals would just kind of get drowned out by a lot of the instruments, particularly low, so like the drum and the bass. But if you are more into listening just like drum and bass, then you probably will like it, as the drivers in here do seem to focus heavily on the lows, which is usually what you see in most often in gaming headsets. So if you prefer to have the good lows and you really want to utilize this gaming headset for gaming primarily, then you'll probably be happy enough with it, as it is a decent little package for $80. Although I would still personally prefer to go out and spend, well, I would spend a lot more, honestly. So if you're on a budget, I mean, you can honestly do a lot worse for $80 for what you're getting inside of this headset. And surprisingly, the microphone isn't bad either. Let's go ahead and do a quick audio test on the microphone of the headset. So this is me now talking through the mic on the headset without any additional coloration or anything whatsoever. I'm just recording this raw directly into Audacity, and in my listening back to it, it honestly sounded pretty decent as far as headset microphones are concerned. I've heard much worse in the past. This sounds pretty good. It's nowhere near a production microphone, but it's going to be good enough to talking to your friends. I wouldn't rely on this as a dedicated microphone for something like streaming. If you're doing any sort of streaming or anything like that, I would still want to get a secondary microphone. But for talking to your friends over Skype, Discord, TeamSpeak, what have you, it's going to be absolutely fine, and it really doesn't sound all that bad. It's just a little bit on the nasally side, but really nowhere near as bad as some of the other headsets out there on the market. So, for my final conclusion on the Corsair headset, I could recommend it if you know what you're getting into, if you are accepting the fact that this is basically an $80 all-in-one package. You're going to get decent sound on the headphone side. You're going to get pretty darn good sound on the microphone side when compared to other headset microphones out there, excluding something like the Antlion Mod Mic, which would definitely be better than this. But then you're looking into spending a lot more money. If you're looking to get a dedicated pair of headphones with a DAC and a microphone, you're looking at somewhere in the $100 to $200 range for your budget. So that's a bit more expensive than what you're going to spend here. And this really isn't that bad of a package at $80. If you are interested in picking up the Corsair Pro RGB USB variant, I will link to that down in the description below. And yeah, let me know what you thought about the video review here and all of that down in the comments below. I look forward to our discussion. As always, if you happen to be new here, you can always hit the subscribe button after you finish hitting the like button. And if you have been here for a while, you can always hit the notification bell to find out when I'm uploading more tech reviews, tech news, and gaming videos and all of that like this one here. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ta-ra.